In the year 5000, the face of Earth is unrecognizable. Millennia of pollution and cataclysm have rendered the surface a radioactive wasteland. Humanity's only hope lies in the skies above, where gargantuan arcologies float like Elysian cities in the clouds. High above the toxic miasma of the lower atmosphere, these havens of learning and industry are home to the last vestiges of human civilization. Among them is Novus Academy, a prestigious institution dedicated to unraveling the mysteries of the ancient past, specifically the bizarre death throes of the world as it was. For decades, its scholars have studied the data recovered from deep storage facilities beneath the clouds, piecing together the history of a world that ended before the stars. They've learned about continents and oceans, about weather and seasons, and most intriguing of all, about colossal beings of impossible scale and power who roamed the planet in the distant past. What the researchers at Novus don't know is that these creatures are still out there. The continents have been broken and scattered by earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, forming treacherous archipelagos shrouded in perpetual twilight. And it's here that the last of the Titans slumber, dreaming of a time before the great cataclysm. Lyra is one of the best students at Novus, fiery and headstrong. She's desperate to prove herself in the hallowed halls of academia. But she carries a secret, one that her fellow students would surely mock her for if they knew. Her parents were janitors, working tirelessly to keep the academy clean, so that Lyra could attend. She won't let them down. While studying, though, Lyra is haunted by strange visions, whispers from another time that hint at a greater destiny. Like the other students, she longs to unravel the secrets of the ancient world. But unlike them, she has no idea that she'll soon be walking right into it. Kael is a prodigy, a savant whose mind works in ways that mere mortals can't comprehend. He sees the beauty in equations and finds harmony in numbers. But his brilliance comes at a price. His recklessness often leads him into trouble. He bends the rules, hacks into secure servers, and pushes the boundaries of acceptable behavior. For Kael, rules were made to be broken, and authority figures are made to be challenged. So when he learns that he's been assigned to work with a partner, his defiance knows no bounds. Now, while searching the ruins of an ancient city for traces of the Titans, Lyra and Kael discover a massive neural interface buried beneath the rubble. As they activate the device, it forms a connection in Lyra's mind, opening a doorway to a world both familiar and strange. The two find themselves transported to a realm where the Titans once walked, where towering trees scrape the sky and exotic creatures roam. But it's not the Titans that greet them. Instead, a group of ragtag refugees cower in fear, warning the newcomers of terrible beasts that stalk the night. According to them, the Titans are gone, vanished without a trace after the cataclysm. But the humans of this time are just as destructive, more than willing to wage war on anyone who gets in their way. Despite the danger, Lyra and Kael press on, determined to learn more about the Titans and their connection to this world. They soon encounter one of the Titans, a creature of immense power and majesty. But instead of being mindless monsters, it's clear that the Titan is intelligent, self-aware, and deeply mournful over the destruction of its home world. It turns out that the Titans weren't conquerors but caretakers, left behind after the interstellar war to watch over the sleeping humans until they were ready to reawaken. Now the cataclysm has struck, leaving the Earth broken and dying. The Titans have no choice but to slumber until the planet heals. But Lyra and Kael soon find that they're not alone in this strange world. There's another presence here, watching them from the shadows. It's a rogue Titan, one that refused to sleep and turned against its own kind, convinced that humanity was better off dead. This Titan is massive, twice the size of any other, and fueled by a burning hatred for the species it blames for everything. Lyra and Kael must now team up with the refugees and form an alliance with the peaceful Titan to defeat the rogue one and restore balance to the world. But it won't be easy. The rogue Titan is powerful beyond measure and its hatred knows no bounds. The battle will be epic, testing the limits of what these ragtag heroes believe possible. With the help of the refugee warriors and the Titan's elemental powers, they managed to hold their ground. Yet the rogue Titan's strength seemed endless, fueled by its unyielding rage. Just as hope began to dwindle, Lyra had an epiphany. The answer, she realized, lay within her own mind, within the whispers of the ancients that had haunted her dreams since childhood. The key to controlling the Titans, she discovered, was a neuro-linguistic link, a way of communicating directly with their minds. But to do this, she'd need to tap into something deep within her soul, a psychic attunement that had lain dormant for years. As the battle raged around her, Lyra closed her eyes, reaching back into the recesses of her mind. There, she found a well of psychic energy, a latent power that had always been there. With a surge of newfound strength, Lyra reached out to the Titan, sending a telepathic message of understanding and empathy. The Titan, sensing her sincerity, responded in kind, its anger abating and replaced by curiosity. At that moment, Lyra knew she had forged a bond with the Titan, becoming one of the legendary Titanborn, a title bestowed upon those who could communicate with these ancient beings. With their bond solidified, Lyra and Kael emerged as leaders of the resistance, uniting the refugees and the Titans under a common banner. Together, they drove back the rogue Titan, forcing it to flee into the heart of the dying world. But their victory was short. The rogue Titan, wounded and enraged, unleashed a devastating attack, plunging the world into darkness. In the ensuing chaos, Lyra and Kael found themselves separated from their allies, forced to flee into the uncharted wilderness of the ancient world. On their journey, they encountered other survivors, some friendly, some not so much. They faced dangerous creatures and navigated treacherous landscapes, all while trying to decipher the Titan's plans for the future. Meanwhile, the rogue Titan rampaged across the land, sowing destruction and despair in its wake. It was a force of pure chaos, unstoppable and unhinged, driven by its insatiable hatred for the human race. As the full scope of the rogue Titan's rampage became clear, Lyra and Kael knew they had to act fast. They rallied the survivors they'd met on their journey, forging an unlikely alliance of humans and Titans. Together, they confronted the rogue Titan in a final battle that shook the very foundations of the dying world. The clash between the Titans was epic, a display of raw power and untamed fury that left the landscape scarred for eternity. But in the end, it was Lyra's unique abilities that proved decisive. Through her unwavering empathy and understanding, she was able to reach the rogue Titan's core, calming its rage and awakening its long-dormant sense of purpose. In a moment of clarity, the rogue Titan realized the error of its ways, understanding that its actions had caused nothing but pain and suffering. With a heavy heart, it surrendered, allowing Lyra and the others to guide it towards the slumbering Titans, ending its destructive rampage and bringing hope for a brighter future. As the sun rose over the battered landscape, Lyra and Kael surveyed the damage wrought by the Titans' battle. But amidst the destruction, they saw the first tentative signs of healing. Small plants began to sprout, animals cautiously emerged from their hiding places, and the survivors emerged from their shelters, blinking in the sunlight. Lyra, with her deep connection to the Titans, sensed their sadness, their sorrow for the destruction they had caused. But she also felt their determination to make amends, to use their immense powers to heal rather than harm. Together, the Titans and the humans set about the task of rebuilding, drawing upon the wisdom of the ancients to restore balance to the world. Lyra and Kael, hailed as heroes, knew their work was far from over. They had glimpsed the immense potential of the Titaness power and the importance of understanding their ancient purpose. As the world slowly began to heal, Lyra and Kael continued their studies, striving to unlock the secrets of the Titans and their place in the universe. They understood that the future of humanity depended upon it, and they were more than willing to rise to the challenge. For Lyra and Kael, the adventure had just begun.